No, I don't think it's a good idea to scream get butt plugged on a crowded train. Because we live in New York. And I don't want my mom to open up the paper tomorrow and see that her son was crowned with the title of anal terrorist. Hey guys, this is Tryhard Ninja bringing you a second episode of my Road to Nuke Emblem series. This is going to be a rules episode. I'm going to go over some rules that I have while going for a nuke, hopefully to set a foundation for all of you who are still having trouble getting them. Rule number 1, play domination, don't capture any flags, just go for kills. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm kidding. It's funny though, because the first 2 flags that I go for in this game, I actually get blown up. But moving on, if you look at all the early nuke tutorials from when the game first came out, every tutorial shows a Harrier, Chopper, and a nuke killstreak setup, and almost every tutorial says that all you have to do to get a nuke is get 7 kills and your killstreaks will do the rest. For the most part, that is no longer true today. A tutorial that is as brief as my joke intro is just simply not enough to help everyone that's still having trouble. So here are the rules that I personally follow that I found work best. Before I move on though, I want to bring your attention to this guy that noob tubes me on A. That guy is a sadistic hunter stalking his prey. He could have killed me at any time. He didn't. He didn't just want to stop me from getting the flag. He wanted me to get close enough so that I could taste victory and then crush me right before I achieved it. I kind of respect that. I don't know. Also, I want to thank Codeine or Cody for sending me the cable that I need to keep recording gameplay. He mailed it to me, and seriously, guys, incredible kindness. Dude, seriously, thank you. I really appreciate it. You wouldn't be getting this footage if it wasn't for him. So, rule number 1. Love your kill streaks, but do not count on them. It is hard to get 14 kills with your chopper gunner nowadays. It's nerfed. It flies all weird. And I don't know what PlayStation Network people play on that say people on don't shoot down air support on the PS3, but my chopper gunners last a good 20 seconds before they're nothing but a pile of expensive virtual rubble. So rule number 2, the AC-130 is your friend, but you are your most reliable kill streak. You gotta remember that you're getting the nuke, your kill streaks aren't. Most tutorials set you up into thinking that all you need is 7 kills, and your air support is gonna get you 18. Think about that for a second. Like, that's a lot of kills that you're counting on that are just sometimes simply out of your control. I mean, I've had AC-130s that got shot down in the first 10 seconds. What I always do is I always set myself up for getting 10 to 12 kills. So when the Harrier doesn't get me the AC-130, I gotta make sure I know that I don't panic. I know that I already set myself up to get more kills that I really needed. Because now I have to take over. If you set yourself up from the beginning to getting more kills than you need, you'll be more calm once the situation calls for it. And staying calm and focused is really one of the biggest helps in getting the nuke. So rule number 3, 7, 11, 25. The early tutorials did get something right. The 7, 11, 25 kill streaks are still probably the best setup to get a nuke. 7 being the Harrier, 25 being the nuke. The only thing I would suggest is replacing the chopper gunner with the AC-130, especially today, especially in ground war. If you don't know how to use the AC-130, now's the best time to learn. What I did was play a bunch of ground war games with the Pred, Harrier, and AC-130 setup just to get used to it, and now I'm really getting the hang of it a lot more. So practice. It is especially efficient in ground war because more players means more kills. Rule number 4. Ground war, domination, and free-for-all are your best bets. Ground war means more people, and it also means more unpredictability. So if you're having trouble, try to switch it up and go for a nuke in free-for-all. The downside to getting a nuke in free-for-all is that after you get the first 5 kills, if you die, you'll have no kills left to be able to build your kill streak up to a nuke, because the game is only until 30. But if you could get to that Harrier without dying in free-for-all from the beginning of the match, there's also a lot less chance that someone will take it down. You know, your chopper gunner or your AC-130, because a lot of people figure that someone else will do it, so they don't have to, and they pretty much just they usually just camp and try to sit it out. In ground war domination, the advantage is that you could die as many times as you will, and you'll still be able to get your kill streaks up as long as the score limit is not reached. So the game you're watching is actually a great example of that. One honorable mention is demolition. The downside to demolition though is that you have to time your kill streaks before the round ends, and that's I don't really like doing that. Personally, I feel like it breaks my concentration, because if I have to carry my Nuke kill streak into another round, sometimes it breaks my concentration. So I personally prefer domination, ground war domination, and free-for-all. Rule number 5, pick your kill streaks appropriately. If you think you're going to get a nuke on Skid Row using the AC-130, you're going to have some frustrating games. As much as I would advise on learning how to use the AC-130 over the chopper because it's harder for the enemy to take it down, I would not advise on using it on every map. For example, Skid Row, Hide Rise, and in free-for-all, I would still advise the chopper, like I said, because a lot of people will just try to camp it out and wait it out rather than taking it out. Rule number 6. As much as I hate it when tutorials say this, use the gun that is most comfortable for you. And I know everyone wants to hear about the secret weapon setup that like gets you nukes every time you press the fire button or something, but the truth is there's just no such setup like that. What works for one person might not work for everyone else because people play the game differently. The weapons that I would recommend personally are the UMP with silencer if you're more into flanking and rushing, the RPD with the grip if you're more of a stationary player, and an assault rifle if you're somewhere in the middle. I would suggest the ACR, the TAR, and like in this game I'm using the SCAR with extended mags. That all rhymed. Anyway, it's an excellent and powerful weapon. The reason I would not suggest the FAMAS or the M16 is because if you miss once, you might not have another shot, and you definitely want to minimize your deaths as much as possible. So something like the SCAR is a great choice, and with extended mags, it barely even needs stopping power. You'll barely even miss it, which brings us to rule number 7. Use the right perks for the job. Stopping power is good on every gun. I would recommend Ninja, especially if you're flanking so the enemies don't hear you coming. As Ninja Pro, you only get that with Ninja Pro, and Scavenger, especially if you're stationary and you want to cover your entrances with claymores. If you feel like your aim is on though, try to unlock the extended mags on the SCAR and replace stopping power with hardline. You will actually need one less kill for the kill streaks that you're going for. So it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you're taking out enemies at long range anyway, and you could do it with some sort of accuracy, 6 kills is always a lot easier to get than 7 kills, and you will not miss stopping power, I guarantee you. Rule number 8. When threatened, run away. Every person that sees you is threatening your nuke. There are no heroes unless you win the game for your team. If a guy is shooting at you and he found your hiding spot and he knows that you're there, never assume that you could outshoot him. He didn't forget about you. He's still there. He still has his sights on you. Whether that's true or not, if you take that as a truth and you play that way, you'll find that you are dying a lot less. Rule number 9. Never stay in the same place. I kind of broke that on my Nuke no kill streaks video, but never stay in the same place. Even if you are in the same room or building, do not sit behind the same couch for more than a few kills. I would suggest breaking the map up into 2 areas that you're comfortable with and switch between them. If you insist on staying in one area, at least go from hiding behind the couch to hiding behind the flower pot in the other corner, because those 3 guys you just killed are now on their way back. So that's a very important rule. You definitely want to switch up your position, and so when they come back for you, you're no longer there. Rule number 10. Well, before I get to rule number 10, I just want to say a lot of getting nukes in general is your awareness of where the enemy is, and your concentration. So you have to make sure that if you don't get your Harrier, or you know if you're playing domination that you can get another Harrier again. Don't let your first 11 deaths, like in this game, break your concentration or break your spirit. A lot of that will come with practice, and I guarantee you if you follow these foundations, it will work. But rule number 10, and the most important, and as cliche as it sounds, rule number 10 is there are no rules. You could modify, bend, or break any of these rules to fit your playstyle. These should serve as a foundation on which to build your nuke collection display on. Because if you have to use the 9, 11, 25 kill streak setup instead, then so be it. If you have to cover yourself behind a wall of claymores, then let the scavenger shine. If you have to steal your friends' kills, sucks to be them. If you have to use the quote-unquote overpowered weapons in the game and listen to the lobby complain that you are a noob, then let the mute button do its job. Because this isn't a game, people. This is real. The power is in your hands, and there is no wrong or cowardly way to reach your radioactive goal, and there are no heroes until you single-handedly win the game for your otherwise hopeless team. And once you click that killstreak option, once you click that button and you select that nuke, it becomes your privilege, your right, no, your goddamn responsibility to blow every motherfucker in that lobby off the face of the fucking planet. And I'm out. 1-man army noob tubes are still not okay.